This is a Transportation TV News Update for the week of Monday, June 23rd. I'm Tony Dorsey reporting.
Today we are facing a Mayday situation, and I'm here to send an SOS call to Congress and the American people.
In the nation's capital this week, California Democratic Senator Barbara Boxer, chairman of the Environment and Public Works Committee, shared the podium with AASHTO Executive Director Bud Wright and representatives of other key stakeholder groups at a press conference to underscore the urgent need for Congress to prevent a meltdown of the Federal Highway Trust Fund.
The trust fund is the major source of funding for our surface transportation system, paying for highways and bridges and buses and transit, rail systems, and more. It's on the verge of bankruptcy, and Congress needs to act now. The law authorizing our transportation programs, MAP 21, expires on September 30th, and without action to extend the trust fund, all payments to the states stop on October 1.
The crisis, said Boxer, could not be happening at a worse time. Summer is the peak of the construction season, and experts estimate that as many as 6,000 projects and 700,000 jobs are in jeopardy.
If Congress does not act by the end of July, U.S. DOT will delay reimbursements to state DOTs for work on highway projects that are already completed. Delaying reimbursement to states is the equivalent of the federal government defaulting on a commitment. Without reimbursement from U.S. DOT, states will be forced to either pay for the federal portion of the projects out of their own pockets or stop paying contractors at all. Some states, as the chairman mentioned, are already taking preventive action. In March, the Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department pulled 10 projects totaling $60 million from the list of projects that would have gone forward this summer. Just yesterday, North Carolina DOT announced that failure to ensure the solvency of the Federal Highway Trust Fund puts 108 transportation projects and 20,000 jobs at risk in North Carolina. And on a blog post on U.S. DOT's website this week, Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear wrote that hundreds of millions of dollars of shovel-ready transportation projects could be delayed this summer if the Highway Trust Fund becomes insolvent. We at AASHTO are tracking how states are preparing for the impending Highway Trust Fund crisis in an infographic we developed. We have hard copies here, but information on which projects are at risk in individual states is available in the electronic version of the infographic, which can be found at invest.transportation.org. In summary, the time for Congress to act is now. Congress needs to reach an agreement on how to keep the Highway Trust Fund solvent within the next few weeks and continue to work on a 6-year surface transportation bill that keeps the Highway Trust Fund solvent for the long-term future. Thank you, Chairman.
Pete Ruang, President and CEO of the American Road and Transportation Builders Association, said this is not a new problem.
This Sunday will be the 58th anniversary of President Eisenhower signing the law to create the Highway Trust Fund to support building the interstate highway system. That same trust fund is now facing its fifth revenue shortfall in the last 7 years. Folks, people need to figure out that this problem is not going away.
Janet Kavanoki of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, Sean O'Neill of the Associated General Contractors, Tom Trotter of the AFL-CIO, Tim Waters of the Associated Equipment Distributors, Michael Johnson of the National Stone, Sand, and Gravel Association, Robert Garbini of the National Ready Mixed Concrete Association, Casey Dinges of the American Society of Civil Engineers, and Jeff Soth of the International Union of Operating Engineers added their voices to the urgent message summed up here by Senator Boxer.
It's not about us. It's not about ideology. It's about the bread and butter of this country, the meat and potatoes of this economy. And we are on the verge of a transportation government shutdown. Failure is not an option. And today, I am so proud to be joined by an array of business, labor, and transportation organizations.
That's the Transportation TV News Update. I'm Tony Dorsey reporting.